How are you doing today? I hope everything is going well. So, have you guys ever left home and thought, like the second that you left, like on a trip or something like that, that just all of your healthy habits have just totally gone away? It is so hard for me, to, at least, to when I was starting this journey on uh, toxin-free living and trying to eat healthier. How do I maintain that when I leave the home? Like in my home, I have made my sanctuary, everything, I have my specific products, I have, everything cleared out. What do you do when you go out into the wild, right? So that's what we're going to talk about today. I have 10 tips that I have learned over the years that we're going to go over to make sure that when we leave, all of our healthy uh, habits and everything is maintained, that we don't come home feeling gross and run down and just like you have to do a whole reset, right? That's too much energy to worry about. So we're going to go ahead and figure out how are we going to make it through a trip and not totally derail all of the hard work we put in, right? Okay, so tip number one, bring a water filter. So this is something new that I've started. I was trying whenever we go travel, first thing I would do is I'd go to the store and buy a case of bottled water. Well, I hated doing that because you just never know the journey that case of bottled water has gone through. And I mean, in that plastic, I'm sure it was sitting in the back of a hot truck. All the microplastics get leaked out into the water, and then you're drinking it. So not ideal. I do prefer to be hydrated and give my body the support it needs to clear out all of that junk and all the toxins and stuff, the microplastics and all of that. So if there is no other choice, like if we're out at an amusement park and I ran out of water and there's no refill stations or something like that, then yes, I will always 100% buy the bottled water. I'd rather be hydrated and then take care of my body afterward versus just refusing to drink the bottled water. I know some people who will absolutely refuse to do that. That is not my mindset. I'd rather stay hydrated because that is so, so important just for all of your body's functions. And there's so many ways that we can go through and just support our body and help it to detox all of those chemicals later. So that's number one, is bringing a water filter. So what I will do is when I get to my, I bought this glass one, and I took it on our trip that we took about a month ago, and it worked out great. I was a little nervous. It was a little bit bigger than I anticipated from when I bought it. I'm not very good about sitting there measuring sizes and getting realistic. I'm like, oh, that looks great. I bought it. It actually fit under the sink. I was really surprised. I actually had brought a smaller travel mug that I was thinking I was going to have to fill and then tip it into the big water filter and get it that way. But I love this thing. You fill it up with the water and it has the filter in the lid of it, and then you just pour it. And so I drink a ton of water, especially in the morning. I have my electrolyte mix that I drink kind of overnight. I do it at nighttime, drink a little bit at night, and then when I wake up in the morning. But then I have my morning tea that I like, and then I'll do my protein shake. And so that's with water. And then I fill my water bottle for the day because I always, that'll be tip number two, is making sure you're bringing a metal water bottle. I like glass ones as well, but I'm always just scared I'm going to break them. I never have yet. They always come with like a really nice silicone cover. So I just don't have one right now. I just have a couple of different metal ones that I've really been gravitating towards. So tip one, tip two is making sure you have good, healthy water with you. So as you're going out and doing your activities, so then you'll have your filtered water, and then you'll have your metal water bottle that you're taking around with you for your daily activities. And so I always travel with that because you don't want to be filling up in using like city water. And then you also never know how clean some of the filters, if they've actually changed the filters outside other places. So I always like to have as much filtered water with me to begin the day And then that way, again, just using a little bit, maybe once or twice, refilling out in public at their water fountains. And again, just supporting my body for detoxing. And then I also do my quarterly functional medicine detoxes as well. So that just helps clear out anything that I've been exposed to and build up. So trying not to over stress about it, but that's kind of how I try to mitigate that. All right, tip number 3. We're going to bring our own shower supplies. I know it's so exciting that hotels have all this stuff right there in the shower for you, so you don't have to worry about it. But those all have like hormone disrupting chemicals, a bunch of other toxic ingredients that they use. So I always bring my own. I get the silicone travel containers. I've shared them before in my stories. I can share them again. But I just bring those silicone travel containers. I have my shampoo, my conditioner, my body wash, and then I'll usually have like coconut lotion as my lotion, or coconut oil as my lotion, and I'll fill that in there. And they're all the 3-ounce bottles, so that you can take them through TSA. I've never once had an issue taking them in my carry-on, and that way you're not using the toxic stuff that's supplied by the hotels. So that's tip number 3. Tip number 4 is bringing a travel disinfectant and cleaner. So I like to buy the Branch Basics little travel bottles, and then I fill them up with my disinfectant. I fill them up with my cleaners, and then you can bring a reusable cloth and use that to clean any of the surfaces and the messes in the hotel room, or if you're staying at someone's house, you have that to kind of clean up the things that are in your area that you're using. And then you also have the disinfectant. You can spray that and use that as well. So tip 5 is I always bring my own hand wash. So again, it comes in like the little travel size, which is great. And then hand sanitizer, which I have one that's spray and has lavender. Love lavender scent. And it uses essential oils. So it's a great hand sanitizer. And I'll bring that, so I'm not using when I'm out in public and using the public bathrooms. I just have it there with me. Wash my hands, no big deal. Bring baby wipes, even if you don't have a baby. Bring baby wipes. You can wipe off if you want. You can wipe off your seats and the tray, like on an airplane, or if there's anything that you need to clean just around in the hotel or when you're out and about doing your activities on your trip. You'll have those for quick, easy cleanups. So those are a couple of things that I just keep in my purse or in my bag if I'm carrying a little bag with me. And they're all super small sizes, so they fit really easily. All right, so if you're on this trip and you're staying there for a long time and you're planning to do laundry, this one may be a little controversial. It depends, again, what you want to pick and choose that you're going to stress over or be worried about. I tend to not focus on all of the residue that's in a washer. I will bring my own laundry soap. I'll bring a powder laundry soap, so that way I don't have to worry about traveling with a big thing of water or a liquid or trying to find another container to put it in or anything like that. I just travel with the powder stuff. And then I'll pack just a couple of the wool dryer balls. And that's how I will do my laundry. If I'm staying at family's house, if we're traveling, visiting family, or anything like that, and I know we're going to be there for a week or longer, and I'm going to have to do laundry, that's what I will do. I will bring my own laundry soap. I will do my own laundry while we're there for myself, my husband, and our kids, and then have the dryer balls. So that's just one way that we will go, just to minimize. Again, it's not eliminating completely. It's impossible to not be exposed to something somewhere, right? So I'm just trying to limit exposure as much as possible. That's just one way I'll do that. And then when I get home, again, wash all the clothes back at home, and then that'll get all of any residue and stuff like that off of it. So that's one way that I do that. If you can't pack for a certain outfit for the whole time, or if you're like me, when we were traveling doing potty training, we had to wash those dirty underwear multiple times on our trips. So that's one way to help kind of mitigate that a little bit in that aspect. My number 7 tip for when traveling is bringing your immune boosting supplements. I will bring some of our tinctures that we have that help just boost your immune system. You're going to be exposed to a bunch of things that you're not used to being around, and this will help you just not come home feeling yucky and getting sick and having to deal with that after your trip. So I always do that. Have some echinacea and elderberry, and then there's some other herbal combination things. So if you're traveling and you do start getting a little bit of a sore throat or getting a little bit congested, I have some of those. I have like the mixture of a bunch of different herbs in it. I'll use that. And then I also have immune boosting spray that we'll use on a daily basis. So great things to just help boost our immune system as we're getting exposed to different things and getting exposed to different chemicals that you're not used to. Your body might be having a reaction to it, as well as just the germs in different areas of the country or in the world, depending where you're traveling to, that you're just not used to. And so that will help your body be able to fight those off. My 8th tip is, depending on how strict you want to be, is actually bringing your own sheets, blankets, and pillows. I personally do not do this. I will bring my daughter's blanket because that's her special blanket that she wants to have. That's it. I don't typically bring my own sheets, but it is something you can consider if that's something that is high on your that you're highly concerned about. You bring that, put that on the hotel bed, or if you're at a family member's, do that. Pillowcases, I will bring those. I am starting to I have a bunch of neck issues and stuff, and so I'll have my special orthopedic pillow that I always try to bring, but I will also bring the extra pillowcases, because that is the one thing that I don't like is when I'm at a family member's house and I use a really strong scented laundry detergent. It just starts giving me a headache. I get congested. It just makes me feel terrible. So I'll bring those extra pillowcases and just do that. So that way I'm not breathing it in while I'm sleeping. So I guess I do that a little bit. I just don't bring sheets. I will do, depending on the blanket situation. If I'm traveling in the car, I'll bring it just because I like to be cozy. But or for my daughter, we'll have her one small blanket that we'll bring when we travel. But pillowcases is one that I guess I do. The 9th tip that I have is make sure you're bringing plenty of snacks. So it's so easy to get off of your whole food diet when you're traveling. It's just hard to find. It's hard to find things that don't have inflammatory oils. And so that's one of the things I do probably overpack on is snacks. We never go through all of them. But the one nice thing is they do go down. So when you're coming home, you have more space in your bag for all of your goodies that you bought while you were traveling. So there's a kind of a trade-off with that one right there. But then I always know if we can't find a healthy place to eat, or if we're not getting the best nutrients, at least I know we have something to fall back on that will give us the good energy that we need, won't make us feel sick and run down when we're trying to be extra active. If you're like us, we are always doing a whole bunch of more activities than what we typically do at home. And so I want to make sure that we're well nourished. And so that's one of the things that we always bring. And then my last tip on here is actually bringing your own toilet paper. I don't know if you're aware of it, but there are so many chemicals and like bleach on just the conventional toilet paper. Again, this is not something that I typically do. However, I did get into the habit when I was overseas, when I lived overseas for a while. Sometimes the public bathrooms didn't have toilet paper. So I bought one of those little containers where it actually had toilet paper. And so I always kept that in my purse. And it's kind of been a habit. So I don't bring a ton, but I'll have those a little bit just in case, because you just never know when you're out in public. But just maybe putting some into some plastic baggies or something like that while you're traveling that you can put into your bag. That might be one other option too, to help minimize the exposure. The skin in that area is so thin and so easy to absorb all those chemicals that are on the toilet paper. And so that's why we actually use toxin-free stuff here at home. But that's just another thing to consider when you're traveling. And again, some of these you may just be like, nope, that's way over the top. Push them off to the side. Totally cool with that. But this is just a helpful list of some tips. And then I want to make sure to also add, as a kind of a little bit of a bonus tip, is, again, you don't have to pick them all. Just pick what works for you. Make sure that you are not overly stressing about what you're getting exposed to, because that stress is almost worse than the chemicals and everything that you're getting exposed to, right? So we want your body to be able to be in a state where it can optimally function. We're trying to limit what we're exposed to the best that we can, but we can't avoid all of it. So we're just going to do what is feasible for us. And then at that time, we'll support our body in helping to detox and get rid of all of the things that it did absorb. And so if you have any questions about how to do that, please reach out to me. I can run functional medicine lab testing with you to figure out kind of where your needs are and develop a personalized plan that is unique for your body and what is going on with you and what you need. But based on all of these lists, if it's something that you're interested in, I do have a free label reading guide that will help give you just the basics of what you need to know on how to read a label, so you know if the products that you currently have at home is toxic, if it's not, or when you're traveling, you'll be able to kind of figure out what they're using and look it up and see if it's something that you need to be concerned about or not. So I do have that, and there is the link for that if you want to grab that. I do have a class coming up, a little workshop coming up on Thursday. So if you're interested in joining that, here is the link to that. And this is where we'll go through some simple strategies on how to create a toxin-free environment in your daily routine. It should not be stressful. It should be just something that you do on a regular basis, and this is incorporated into how you live, and is eventually become second nature where you're not having to think about it. So I do have that there. And so if you liked this video, please hit the like button and subscribe for more low tox tips and how to create a healthy lifestyle for you and your family. And to also learn more, follow me at Optimize Health Naturally on Instagram and on Facebook. And I would love to connect with you. All right. Thank you so much. I hope you all have a blessed day.